Hello and welcome to the detailed line-by-line explanation of Act 1, Scene 1 of Julius Caesar. Before going into the detailed explanation, let's look at the gist of what is happening in this scene. So the scene begins with the common people of Rome celebrating Caesar's triumph over Pompey. So they are on the streets wearing their best attire and eagerly waiting for Caesar's chariot to pass. But two tribunes, means Roman officials, that is Flavius and Marullus, they ask the people why they have taken a holiday on a work day and are seen shouting at the people for forgetting their love towards Pompey. They ask the commoners to repent over their ingratitude. And finally, Marullus and Flavius go to their separate ways to tear down any celebratory decorations done in the honor of Caesar because they believe Caesar has become too powerful and they believe or are scared that he might turn into a tyrant. Okay, so let's start with the line by line explanation. So here the scene starts with Flavius saying, "Hence, home you idle creatures, get you home. Is this a holiday? What? Know you not, being mechanical, you ought not walk upon a laboring day without the sign of your profession? Speak, what trade art thou?" Okay, so here Flavius is saying, go home, you idle creatures. Idle means lazy. That means you're not doing anything productive. So go home, you lazy creatures. Is this a holiday? Don't you know? Now, being mechanical. So the meaning of this word is being manual laborers. You should not walk on a working day without wearing your uniform of your profession. Speak, what job do you do? Or what is your occupation? So the carpenter says, that is the first commoner. He says, why sir, a carpenter? So Marullus says, where is thy leather apron and thy rule? So if you're a carpenter, where is your leather apron and your rule? That is your ruler, that is your scale. What dost thou with thy best apparel on? You, sir, what trade are you? Okay, so he's saying, what are you doing on the streets wearing your best apparel, means clothes. So he's asking the second person, what is your profession? So the second commoner is a cobbler. Truly, sir, in respect of a fine workman, I am but, as you would say, a cobbler. So he says, honestly, sir, I am a skilled workman. I am a fine workman means I am a skilled workman. But if you would say, you would call me a cobbler. So Marullus says, but what trade art thou? Answer me directly. Why are you beating around the bush? What is your job? What is your occupation? So the second commoner, which is the cobbler, says, a trade, sir, that I hope I may use with a safe conscience, which is indeed, sir, a mender of bad souls. Okay, so he says a trade, sir, means, trade here means occupation. So I do an occupation, sir, that I hope can practice with a clear conscience. Safe means clear, without any bad conscience. I work with a clear conscience and I mend bad souls. Now this is pun intended. He is actually making fun of them. See, he's saying in a way that I mend bad souls. I make a person better. And here it is written souls, which is the underneath of the shoe. So Flavius says, what trade thou knave? Thou naughty knave, what trade? So he's saying, you crafty fellow, you naughty person, and sly or crafty. Why are you answering like that? Answer directly. What trade do you do? What is your occupation? Nay, I beseech you, sir, please not out with me. Yet if you be out, sir, I can mend you. So the second commoner says, so beseech you means please. Sir, be not out with me means angry. Yet if you be angry, sir, I can mend you. So he's saying, if you are angry, I can mend you. So Marillus says, what means thou by that? Mend me, thou saucy fellow. So Marillus is getting angry. So he's saying here, uh, mend me, thou saucy fellow. Saucy means disrespectful. Okay, cobbler. There is a second commoner says, why, sir, cobble you? So Flavius says, thou art a cobbler, art thou? So are you a cobbler? Okay, so I'll tell you a trick. Now there is commoner one and there is this commoner two. Yes, the commoner one is a carpenter and the commoner two is a cobbler. So if they ask you who is commoner one, who is commoner two, for you to remember, carpenter. So here A comes, no, the second one. So A is the first letter of the alphabet. So that is how he comes first, the carpenter. And O comes later. So the second one is a cobbler. So that is one way to remember it. Okay. So let's see what the second commoner says. Truly, sir, all that I live by is with the all. So all is a tool that is used by a cobbler. I meddle with no tradesman matters nor women's matter, but withal I am indeed, sir, a surgeon to old shoes. So he's saying, I do not interfere in other people's matter. Okay, so he's saying, I don't meddle with tradesman matter, business or women's business, but only with my all. I am a surgeon to old shoes. Okay, so I repair old shoes. And when they are in great danger, I recover them. So I fix them. As proper men as ever trod. Trod means walk. Upon neat leathers have gone upon my handiwork. So he's saying if respectable men, if they have walked with neat leather, then that shoe is mended by me. Okay. So then Flavius asks, but wherefore art not in thy shop today? So why are you not going to work today? Why dost thou led these men about the streets? Then why have you brought these men on the streets today? It is a working day. Why aren't you there? So the second commoner says, truly, sir, to wear out their shoes, to get myself into more work. But indeed, sir, we make holiday to see Caesar and to rejoice in his triumph. So here the cobbler first, very sly, in a very sly manner, he says, I have brought these people on the street so that they will walk more and their shoes will get worn out and I can repair them and get more work. But he says, truly we are here because we first want to see Caesar. And the second reason is they want to rejoice. They are happy because Caesar has won over Pompey. Okay. Then Marilla says, wherefore rejoice? What conquest brings he home? What tributaries follow him to Rome? So Marullus is saying, but why are you rejoicing? Why are you so happy? What conquest is he? Means what victory is he bringing home? Conquest is victory. And what conquered nation, what tributaries follow him to Rome? So what is he bringing so much after winning from this war? To grace in captive bonds his chariot wheel. That means what is he bringing captive which is tied to his chariot wheels? You blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things. So he's calling them hard-hearted, cruel people. Okay, he's calling them stones. You are worse than senseless things. Knew you not Pompey? So didn't you know Pompey? Many a times and oft have you climbed up to walls and battlements. So he's reminding them, don't you remember when Pompey was victorious, you had climbed up the walls and battlements, you climbed up towers and windows, you climbed even chimney tops, you had your infant, that is your child, in your arms, and they have sat the live long day with patient expectation to see great Pompey pass the streets of Rome. So he's saying, have you forgotten how patiently, with an infant in your arm, you have waited all day long to get a glimpse of Pompey? And when you saw his chariot appear, have you not made a universal shout? So haven't you shouted so loudly that Tiber is a river, trembled underneath her bank. So the river bank is the side of the river. So he's saying, when you shouted so loudly, the Tiber has trembled. To hear the replication of your sounds means to your echo. Replication of sound means echo made in her concave shores. See, so water is like this. This is called a concave surface. So the the river got so scared that the water was went low. And do you now put on your best attire? So now you are wearing one of your best clothes and you are calling it a holiday. And do you now strew flowers in his way? So now you are ready to throw flowers on the way when Caesar comes and he comes in victory over Pompey's blood. So have you forgotten all of that? Have you become so ungrateful? Be gone, so go away. Run to your houses, fall upon your knees, pray to the gods to intermit the plague. So he's saying you have made a grave mistake. So, what are you supposed to do? You're supposed to run to your houses, fall on your feet, on your knees, pray to gods to intermit the plague. So, plague is a very deadly infectious disease. So he's saying you have made a mistake that is like the plague, and that that needs must light on this ingratitude. So you have to tell God to stop the big disaster that is definitely going to fall upon us if we do not apologize. So Flavius says, go, go, good countrymen, and for this fault assemble at the poor men of your sort. So he's saying, go, countrymen, go gather all the poor people, just like you, who have done this grave mistake. Draw them to Tiber bank. So collect all of them and tell them to go to the Tiber banks and cry your tears into the channel. Cry until the lowest stream becomes the most elevated shore of all. So exalted means the elevated. So you have to shed that many tears for the grave mistake that you have done or the disrespect that you have shown. So this conversation of Marullus and Flavius, this you blocks, you stones, you worse than senseless things, that until this is very important part. So this has appeared in the exam umpteen number of times. So please give a lot of importance to this. See where their basest metal be not moved. They vanish tongue-tied in their guiltiness. Okay. So basically what Flavius is saying is, let's see if her shouting has any effect on them. They vanish tongue-tied in their guiltiness. So they're saying that they have disappeared quietly because of their guilt. Go you down that way towards the capital. This way will I disrobe the images if you do find them decked with ceremonies. Okay. So here Flavius is telling Marullus that you go to the capital where and I will go this way and remove all the celebratory decorations that is decked on Caesar. And Amaryllis says, may we do so? You know it is the feast of Lupercal. So what that day is the festival of Lupercal. So can we do that? Flavia says, it is no matter. Let no images be hung with Caesar's trophies. I'll about and drive away the vulgar from the street. Okay. So I think that is not important. It is no matter means not important, but no images should be hung with Caesar's trophies, or no statues, no painting should be decorated with Caesar's trophy. I will go around and remove the people from the street. So you too, vulgar from the streets mean the commoners from the street. So you do you too, where you perceive them thick. So when you find that people are gathered in large crowd where the crowd is thick, you have to separate them. These growing feathers plucked from Caesar's wing will make him fly an ordinary pitch. Okay, so they're saying that Caesar is growing powerful, so we should cut down these feathers and make him fly low, or else he will go above us and will keep us in servile fearfulness. So if we do not keep his power in check, then he is going to soar above us and keep us in like slaves and in fear. And then finally they exit in different directions. So this last part is also a very important part. These growing feathers should be plucked. So pay attention to this as well. Okay, so I hope this part, this entire scene was clear. I hope you do well. Thank you so much.